everyone, my name's Kate Kalthoff and welcome to a Stamping to Share video. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up! And I'm thrilled that you joined me today to create this masculine birthday card. It uses a stamp set called the Open Sea, and I have neglected a few of my regular catalog stamp sets lately, so I thought I would jump back into it with this great card. And it's super fast and fun to do. You're going to want to make several of these all at one time. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that we're going to need is a piece of Night of Navy. This is cut at 5.5 by 8.5, and then I've scored it at 4 1/4. The next thing we're going to do is just fold this along the fold line. I'm going to use my bone folder just to give it a nice crease so it will lie flat for us while we work with it. The next thing we're going to do is our inside panel. That's going to just take a couple of seconds because all you need is a piece of soft sky paper cut at 4 by 5 1/4. And then on the inside, I just took a 1/2 inch by 4 inch strip of designer series paper that coordinates with the designer series paper I used on the outside of the card. And so I'm just going to adhere this to the inside panel of our card using a little bit of multi-purpose liquid glue. All we need is one little strip across the top, and then we're going to glue this right into the inside panel of our card. We can just kind of wiggle it and make sure it's centered in between the borders on all 4 sides. And now for the outside panel, we are going to start by gluing a piece of smoky slate cardstock. This is cut at 3.5 by 4 3/4. And since there's no wraps or ribbons around it, we can just go ahead and glue it straight onto our base panel. And so we'll just center this in so that all 4 edges are nice and even. And give that a nice little press with our fingers, and we are done with that part. All right, and then the next part is a little bit of Stampin' and some more designer series paper. This is a piece of soft sky cardstock. As you can see, I have it cut at 3 1/4 inches square. And then the next step is to take a piece of designer series paper. This is cut at 1 by 3 inches, and you might be wondering where this designer series paper is from. Well, surprise, it's from English Garden. It's one of our designer series papers that you can find in the 2015-16 Stampin' Up! Annual Catalog. And even though there's a lot of feminine designs in this designer series paper, there are also some masculine ones. So it's kind of a good gender-neutral pack to use with lots of different cards. And I'll just go through it so you can see. This is the one we're using on this Open Sea card. And I have another card that I'm working with right now that uses this design, so I'll show you that in a few days. So let's go ahead and glue this 1 by 3 inch strip onto our 3 1/4 inch square card panel. And we'll just center that in, and then we can do a little stamping. The stamp that I've chosen is the ship, and we're going to ink that up with Island Indigo. So we're just going to set that in here, give it a couple of good presses, make sure it's nice and inky, and then we're just going to ink that up right here. And I love the way the Island Indigo pops on the soft suede. It's so pretty. The next thing we're going to do is do a little bit of a wrap. We have some metallic silver baker's twine, and we're going to just wrap that around twice on this panel. So the way I do that is I just hold enough so that I can tie a knot, and then I just wrap it around 2 times, and then I take my craft scissors, which I reserve just for ribbon and twine, and then I cut that off, and then we're going to tie a knot right here. And I don't worry so much about where the knot actually is because I can move this a little bit once I have the knot tied. We'll trim these ends up again with the craft scissors that I've reserved for just ribbon and twine. And then we can move it a little bit more to the left so it has that nice balanced look to it. And there it is. Let me just trim this up a tad more. And now we can set this down right onto this smoky slate panel. And I'm using 5 dimensionals, as you can see, and so we're just going to set this in so the top 3 sides are even. And now all we have to do is add our sentiment on the bottom, and I've chosen to use the Expressions Natural Elements. We could go with a thanks if you were looking to make a thank you card, or a congrats card. This would be a very nice graduation card for a man in your life. And then what I've chosen to do is create this into a birthday card. So I'm using Celebrate, and I'm just going to set that at the bottom, and I do have some glue dots on here. And we'll center that in, give it a little press, and now our card is complete. So this is the card I've just done for you. This is the card I had done in advance, and I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial with all the measurements. If you don't currently have a demonstrator, I'd be so happy to be yours. Please visit my blog at www.stampingtoshare.com, and I have links there where you can place product orders. Have a great day. Bye-bye.